Good morning, one and all. In previous lecture, we discussed about complex programmable logical devices, their features, specification, and architecture details. Now, in today's lecture, we will discuss about the most important PLD which is widely used in the market. That is FPGA, means Field Programmable Gate Array. We will learn about the features, specifications, and architecture of the FPGA. As we learn about the SPLD and CPLD are used to implement relatively small and useful for simple logical devices because the SPLD like PLA, PAL and ROM they have the usable gates ranging from 800 to 6400 where the CPLD have the gates ranging from the 1 to 20,000 means up to 20,000. Hence, these SPLD and CPLD are used to implement relatively smaller circuit up to the 20,000 gates only. We we can use the 20,000 gates. Hence, there is a need of development of such PLD which will use to implement the larger circuit compared to these SPLDs means which has the million which can be used to implement the circuit which require the millions of gates, the thousands of flip-flops and memory cells compare having the larger capacity compared to the SPLD and CPLDs. Hence, the field programmable gate array they can handle the larger circuit compared to these SPLD and CPLDs because they does not consist of AND plane and OR planes. The basic disadvantage of SPLD and CPLD are they consist of PL and PLA block and they consist of AND plane or OR plane and they have some limitations. We cannot use the uh, more number of AND plane or OR gates and AND gates. Hence, the limitations persist in the CPLD and SPLDs. But field programmable gate array they does not consist of any AND plane or OR plane. They provide the logic blocks, means they consist of logic blocks, especially configurable logic blocks, IO blocks, and interconnection wires and switches. They implement the functionality via logic blocks. And interconnection switches allows the logic blocks to be connected to each other as well as IO pins. Now let's discuss about what are the features and specification of this FPGA family. The FPGA, these are the system features, field programmable gate array. They consist of on-chip ultra-fast RAM, means the RAM device or RAM cells. These are the ultra-fast RAM cells. They have features like synchronous write operation and dual port RAM options. These are fully PCI compliant device. They have the abundant flip-flops, thousands of flip-flops. They have flexible function generators. They have dedicated high-speed carry logic. They have wide edge decoder on every edge and hierarchy of interconnect lines. They have internal 3-state bus capability and 8 global low skew clock or signal distribution. This is about the features and specifications of the general FPGA device. Now let's see the general architecture of FPGA. The general architecture of the FPGA consists of 3 blocks. First, configurable logic blocks. Second, interconnection switches which are programmable. And third, IO blocks. The configurable logic blocks they are now the ranging from 100 to the thousands or you can say millions, and these all are surrounded by using the interconnection switches. Hence, the FPGA are capable of implementing the larger circuit compared to the CPLD because in CPLD the main logic blocks these, that is a PAL blocks, these, they have some limitations, but here we can use that up to the thousands or more configurable logic blocks, and all these blocks and IOs, all the blocks and interconnection switches are surrounded by the IO blocks. Hence, FPGA consists of three basic building blocks: configurable logic blocks, programmable interconnect, and IO block. The configurable logic blocks, these are used to implement combinational as well as sequential logic. Programmable interconnect, these uses programmable wires to connect input and output to the logic blocks. And IO blocks, these consist of special logic blocks at periphery of the device for external connections. Architecture of FPGA. Now, the first most important or basic element of the FPGA is configurable logic blocks, and it is used to implement the combinational as well as sequential logic. This configurable logic block, it consists of two slices, each of which contains the lookup table, registers, multiplexers, and carry logic. The lookup table inside the slice, these are used to implement the logic functions, and registers are used to store the data. Multiplexers are used to select the desired output, and carry logic is enabled for fast arithmetic operations. Here in right hand side you can see the diagram where the basic CLB is given. The CLB consists of slices. Two slices are provided here, slice 0 and slice 1. An internal structure of slice is given on the left hand side, second figure, where it consists of inputs are connected to the lookup tables. Lookup table outputs are given to the multiplexer. Multiplexer select the desired output. Then it is given to the registers to store the data. And finally it is provided to the output. Here interconnections are the routing resources which include the channels, switch box, and clock distribution network. The heart of the configurable logic block is the lookup table. It is the basic element which implements the FPGA logic. Means how the logic is implemented inside the FPGA is basically by using the lookup tables. Now these lookup tables, they have small number of input and one output. What is in the lookup table? They have small number of input and one output. It contains the storage cells, and it can be loaded with a desired value with respect to the equations, logic equations. The internal signals connect to the control signals of the multiplexers. Means these inputs are connected to the multiplexer and act as a control signals. To select the value of the truth table for the any given input, means depending on input conditions, what output should be generated, so that these input act as a control signal to that multiplexers, and expected outputs are stored inside the memory cells. Let's take the example of two input lookup table. The two input lookup table uses the three multiplexers to implement the any desired functions of the two variable, and this is increased by using the Shannon expansion, 2 raised to n minus 1. Means 2 raised to n minus 1 multiplexers are required to implement the function having the n variable. If two variable function you have provided, 2 raised to n minus 1 means 2 raised to 2 minus 1 means 4 minus 1 equal to 3. 3 multiplexers are required. If it is a 3 input, 2 raised to 3 minus 1, 2 raised to 3 is 8 minus 1, 7 multiplexers are required. In this way you can implement the lookup tables. Here let's take one example to implement the function in the two input lookup table. Function is x1 bar x2 bar plus x1 x2, and left hand side its truth table is given. X1 and x2 has two combinations, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Two input, hence four combinations, and as per the function we have generated the output. Function even condition is 0 0, output is 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1. These four outputs for four combination 1 0 0 1, these are stored inside the RAM cell of lookup table. and X1 and X2 act as a control signal. X1, the X1 act as a control input for the first multiplexer, and X2 act as a control input to the second and third multiplexers. In this way, you can control the logic of the you can control the select line of the multiplexer and select the particular load cells. When the condition is 0, 0, the first input from the RAM cell, first input of the RAM cell is connected to the function F. And when the condition is 0, 1, second input is selected. In this way, the multiplexer selects the particular input from the storage cells. Similar 3-input lookup table. 3-input lookup table, it uses the 7 2:1 multiplexers, and they require as 3 input total 8 combination, means 8 storage cells are required. Commercially, we can use 4 to 5 input lookup tables having 16 to 32 storage cells. Now, second most important element of the FPGA architecture is programmable interconnect. The second block, that is a programmable interconnect. What is the programmable interconnect? It is nothing but horizontal and vertical mesh of wire segments which are interconnected by the programmable switches. And it is a complex network compared to the CPLD. It consists of large number of horizontal and vertical wires, mesh segments. These are also known as programmable interconnection points. These programmable interconnection points, these are implemented by using the transmission gates, and these are controlled by the memory bits from the configuration memory. Means the programmable interconnects, these are implemented by using the transmission gates, and these are controlled by the memory bits from the configuration memory. All the internal connections, these are composed of the metal segments with programmable switching points and switching matrices to implement the desired routing. Means these all connections, metal segments having these programmable switching points and switching matrices, these are used to implement the desired routing. Here, interconnection between the any two logic elements, or you can say any two configurable logic blocks, is not fixed. They can take any path through the switch matrix. Means the connection between the two blocks can take any path depending on the switch matrix, so that its delay cannot be exactly predictable in the FPGA. Means there are no dedicated connection, there are no dedicated path. Means delay in the FPGA may vary for the same circuit also if we implement it 2 or more times. Programmable interconnects between CLB and IOB can be made by. Now, how this programmable interconnection can be made? First, the general purpose interconnect between the CLB you can use, or you can use the direct interconnect or long lines also. This programmable interconnect consists of global routing, which connects the CLB to the IO buffers. It consists of routing between the non-adjacent CLBs and routing to the embedded components also. Local routing connects the CLB to the other adjacent CLB as well as programmable logic blocks. Now, how these switching points, switching connection takes place in the programmable switches is depending on their programmable interconnection points. There are several types. First, cross point, programmable interconnection points, then break point, then decoded mux, non-decoded mux, and compound cross point. At the below, you can observe first is you can see the cross point. Cross point, it connects the vertical and horizontal wire segments which allows the turn. Simple vertical and horizontal wires. These two wires connections is made by the cross point PIPs. And second, the break point. Break point connects two isolated wire segments, two different wire segments. These are connected by using the break point. Then decoded mux, the multiplexer. You see here it is a group of 2n cross points which are connected to the single output configure, which is configured by n configuration bits. It's 2n. How many? If and more than two wires, it can connect to the single output. Non-decoded mux, here it uses the n wire segment each with the configuration bits. And compound wire, compound cross point, here 6 breakpoints PIPs are available. It can isolate the any two isolated signal leads. Means it can connect the any two wires. This is about the internal architecture of programmable interconnects and types of the programmable interconnect switches or points. Now, what are the configuration storage elements which control these programmable switches? They are of the types standard random access memory SRAM, fast erasable programmable RAM, or fusible links. The standard random access memory, that is SRAM. Here in the SRAM, each switch is a pass transistor and it is controlled by the state of SRAM bit. Means that when two interconnects are connected by using the SRAM switch, when two interconnects are connected by the programmable interconnection points which are controlled by SRAM bit, here in this case the each switch has a one pass transistor and it is controlled by the state of SRAM bit. In this case, FPGA needs to be configured at power on. At the start, FPGA have to configure. Then second is a flash memory, flash ROM you can say. In this case, each switch is a floating gate transistor. In flash type, switch is a floating gate transistor that can be turned off by injecting charge onto these gates. Means by injecting the charge into the gate of this floating gate transistor, switch will be turned off. FPGA itself holds the program. FPGA stores its program. It is a reprogrammable and even in the circuit. Most probably flash ROMs are used. Then third important is fusible links. It is also known as anti-fuse types of FPGA. Here it forms the lower resistance path when it is electrically programmed. Low resistance path when anti-fuse when it is when it is electrically programmed. At that time, the low resistance path is formed between the two interconnects, and the two interconnects are connected. These fusible links means anti-fuse. These are the one-time programmable in special programming machines. Hence, they are the radiant tolerant. This is about the programmable interconnects. Then how to configure the programmable interconnects by using the different types of memory cells. Now, the third important part of the FPGA architecture is I/O blocks. The I/O blocks provides interface between the package pins and the CLBs. What is the word? What is the operation of I/O blocks? The I/O blocks has work or operation of interfacing. Its work is to interface between the package pin and the CLBs. Each I/O blocks, it can work either unidirectional or bidirectional I/O depending on the controls. Output can be forced into the high impedance, and input and output can be registers. At the right hand side you can see the diagram. Okay, here it consists of tri-state control, output data, input data. Okay, and on the right hand side you can see a bidirectional buffer where pad is provided, input and output. Input operation separate buffers, output operation again separate buffer. Only signals are coming from internal routing resources. The bidirectional buffer, they have the programmable for input and outputs, means we can use the pad for input as well as output. Hence it is a programmable. Tri-state control controls these bidirectional operation. Means tri-state control signal control these bidirectional operation, whether the pad can be used for input pad, input or output. They use the pull-up registers also, pull-up and pull-down registers. Flip-flops and latches are used to improve the timing, means setup and hold time and clock to out delay. These are to improve this timing and avoid the clock jitter and clock skew. These flip-flops and latches are used. Then routing resources. Here connections to the core of array are made. Means these inputs and outputs are connected to the routing resources, that is the core, means I/O blocks, as well as they are connected to the programmable interconnects. And it has programmable I/O voltage and current voltage levels also. What are the manufacturing technologies? The most FPGA, they use the SRAM or anti-fuse CMOS technology. Means most of the FPGA are manufactured by using the SRAM technology or anti-fuse technology. SRAM based FPGA, these are the programmable, and anti-fuse based FPGA are one-time programmable. In SRAM technology, configuration memory has a program in it that defines In SRAM technology, the configuration memory has a program which consists of function of each block, which blocks are the input blocks and output blocks, and interconnection between the blocks. Means the SRAM technology consists of the memory, and that memory is preloaded with a program, and this program decides what is the function of each blocks inside the FPGA, which blocks are the input block and output block, and which are the interconnections, what are the interconnection between the blocks. But in anti-fuse technology, programming current of 5 milliampere blows an anti-fuse to make the permanent connections. In simple, which two blocks are connected, only the interconnect in between the two blocks, they have to provide the 5 milliampere current so that the resistance path between that two interconnect path is reduced. Resistance between the two interconnects are reduced and the connections are made for as a permanent connections. Hence, this is about the manufacturing technologies. Most probably SRAM and anti-fuse CMOS technology are used. Now next step is a programming or configuration. Configuration is nothing but it is a process of loading the design and device specific bit stream into the one or more FPGA. Means how we can load the program or download the program into the FPGA, and this process is known as a configuration. Because volatile nature of FPGA makes this configuration consideration important, because configuration require after the power on. Hence, FPGA can be programmed through PC or via programming cable or via programming file that can be stored in the PROM. Means we can program the FPGA through the programming cable via through the PC, or we can program download the file which can be stored in the PROM. Hence, what we have to take care while the system model during the FPGA configurations, means what type of method we are using. This is again important. We are using the ISP method, which we already discussed in the CPLD, that the in-system programming method, where it requires the special type of cable, that is a JTAG cable, and which is irremovable, which is FPGA, which is present on the PCB. This is an example how the FPGA logic equation is implemented in the FPGA. Let's take the example f is equal to x1 x2 plus x2 bar x3. Okay, here function let's take divide the x1 and x2 as consider as a function f1, and x2 bar and x3 consider as a function f2. Means f is equal to f1 plus f2. Here f1 is implemented on the configured logic block 1. Okay, and the truth table is made by using this, which is a 0001, which is a simple AND gate truth table. And second, x2 bar and x3, again if we prepare the truth table, it is loaded on the RAM cell, that is 0100. And the red connections, red color connection shows the connections made between the input and outputs of these particular blocks. What are the FPGA vendors and device families available in the market? Now, as FPGA devices are more popular and are most widely used for implementation of circuits in the market, hence number of vendors are available like Xilinx, Altera, Actel, Lattice, QLogic, and many more. Most probably these are the high capacity, high density devices. Hence, Xilinx consists of Vertex and Spartan families, Vertex 2, Vertex 4. These are the high performance SRAM based FPGA. Spartan 3, these are the low cost feature reduced versions. Then Altera means Intel has different families like Static 1, Static 2, Cyclone, Cyclone 2. Statics are the high performance SRAM based FPGA, and Cyclones are the low cost feature and cost critical applications. For cost critical application, we can use the Cyclone. Again, for Actel, they consist of anti-fuse based FPGA, radiant tolerant FPGA, flash based FPGA. Lattice Semiconductor also consists of flash based FPGAs, and QLogic, they are the Xilinx based FPGA. These are the different FPGA vendors and families. Only our selection criteria decides which FPGA family we have to use for our application depending on complexity and density. This is about the FPGA, its features, specification, architectures, configuration, and all things. Okay, thank you.